GM, everybody from wherever you may be joining us. This is Craig Henderson, co-founder of Wolfpack Crypto. Today we have here the founders of MediMint, and I'm very excited for this, Mr. Vikash Sharma and Nalin Kumar. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
I'm good.
Yes, and Vikash, we've already had the pleasure of meeting. Nalin, this is the first time we're meeting, so very excited. We're going to dive right into this. So I'll just make a few points. I've gone through the white paper and the website. I'm just going to go through a little bit about what MediMint is, and then I'll let you guys talk a little bit about your background and just dive right into MediMint. So as I said, I've gone through it. I've spent quite a bit of time going through the white paper. I think I have a pretty clear understanding of what MediMint is, the issues that it addresses. I mean, in my opinion, it's a model that works very intuitively. It's easy to comprehend, and everything just functions. It makes sense, and like I said, it's very easy to understand how everything works, and kind of makes you think, man, why didn't I think of that? It's a blockchain use case that I think has a real solution to an actual problem, not a case of what we see far too often, somebody trying to force a blockchain use case that doesn't really achieve anything or add anything of any real value. So with that, let me just introduce a little bit about what MediMint is. So it's a blockchain-powered platform that transforms the ownership and operation of radiology equipment, tokenizing high-value assets like MRIs, CT scanners, ultrasound machines, and this can track and scan every transaction and revenue flow in real time using blockchain and HL7 integration. So it allows, hospitals, smaller hospitals that might not have access to these equipments, because these are multi-million-dollar equipments, they can actually finance them, and it helps the hospital and obviously the patients in these underserved areas as well. It's a scalable, revenue-generating hospital for hospitals. As I said, embedded transparency, yield for investors. And they have a partner, a Visa Smart Hospitals, that has a network of 300 hospitals that are ready to roll out the MediMint protocol across India and Africa. MediMint is serving a problem of underutilized machines and inaccessible diagnostics. There's a 5-year life cycle that ensures long-term sustainability. As I said, one of the things that draws my attention is that stakeholders can potentially earn predictable, steady income. And as I said, you can serve the greater good by helping not only the medical facility as well as these, underserved patients. And really, this isn't an issue just in places that they label third world or developing countries, even places like here in the UK, the USA, where the healthcare systems are overworked, underfunded. And one of the things that I look for in any business, any endeavor, is the team, the background that they possess, the past successes of the founders, that they can, they can show that they've built and scaled multiple projects, then that's something that, in my opinion, gives them a good chance. Another thing, of course, are the strategic alliances and the resources that the company can call upon. In the case of MediMint, both of these appear to be, a very solid foundation upon which it's being built.
Yeah.
So Mr. Vikash Sharma, just to introduce some of his accomplishments, founder and CEO of Visa Group, which is a global conglomerate spanning healthcare, AI, blockchain, wellness, and deep tech. As I said, right now, there's over 300 hospitals in the network. And I was very impressed at the, speed and how they scaled up. We'll touch more on that. It currently has over 12,000 beds and 4,000 doctors. Led the development of the world's first blockchain-powered diagnostic NFT platform. He's an author of the book You Wish You Create, which merges neurosciences and astrophysics into personal transformation. Expert in precision medicine, digital therapeutics, genomics, and longevity innovation. Fluent in 9 languages. That impresses me. I'm trying to learn my 3rd language. And Nalin Kumar, vast experience from what I'm reading here. Gained experience on Wall Street, global financial centers, and investing. Head of investment banking across verticals. one of the largest state-sponsored bank and development financial institutions in India, IDBI Bank. Also, he was the chief investment officer at SAIML. You see some of the other accomplishments: managing director at Rabobank, executive director at Morgan Stanley, vice president Merrill Lynch. So very, very impressive. Just going over some of the verticals that are in the Avisa Smart Hospital Group. You have obviously Avisa Smart Hospitals, Eternal, which is dedicated to longevity and genomics, Opulence, which deals with wellness through nutrition, and of course MediMint, which we're discussing today, blockchain and diagnostic asset tokenization. So I did a brief introduction. I'll let you two gentlemen just, tell a little bit more about yourselves, and then we can just jump into some questions.
Thanks, Craig. Thanks for a very detailed introduction, and thanks for your understanding about MediMint. Happy to be on the call. Myself, Vikash Sharma, I am the founder of MediMint, and I'm also the group CEO of Avisa Group of Hospitals. We are also into, Avisa Group of Hospitals are having different several verticals, which is into hospitals, diagnostics, pharmacy, and the health tech division. We also have Eternal, which handles the longevity and genomics division, Opulence, which handles the health food vertical and the nutrition and supplement division, and then the Mediment, which is the blockchain division of healthcare. So if you see all the verticals which is comprising under me or under Avisa Group is all interconnected and integrated together, contributing to the value of each vertical, each other. And that brings the, a biggest value what we are doing it in Mediment, where the entire data flow and the assets are getting parked through all the resources, whatever we have within the hospital. And with this, we are really setting a very strong footprint into the healthcare industry.
Yeah, I'm Nalin Kumar. I've had a chance to work across most of the global centers, starting my career in Wall Street and then moving to London, Singapore, Hong Kong, and a lot of time in India. I've had the benefit of being able to look at situations across the capital structure and across the life cycle of projects, with situations in early stage, mid stage, growth stage, and the IPO and also the post IPO markets. Um, I've had a chance to work with some leading names. And what got me interested in this situation, I was looking for something that is cutting edge. And when Vikas and I had a conversation, there is a lot of great work out here that can be done. But we'll get more into that as we get along in this discussion.
Appreciate it. And so I'm interested. How did you two connect? And then how did the world of finance and then the world of wellness and hospitals kind of come into fruition?
So interestingly, I should reveal that Mr. Nalin is already early investor into our Avisa vertical, and he's the one who has recognized our entire verticals very strongly, and I really admire him. And with his strong background, of course, he has contributed a lot into whatever is built so far. And since he has invested, we exchange a lot of views, ideas among each other. And we were discussing one day about the lying asset which is there in the hospital. How do we utilize them? And then he talked about something on the securitization and other stuff through his banking background. And then, we felt that, why can't we tokenize the assets which are already present in the hospital, which is already giving a yield on a daily basis? What if we tokenize and then solve the real problem which is going on in the world? And that's how we formulated and created MediMint.
Well,
Yes.
I'll add a little bit to that, Craig. Um, I was really impressed by what Vikas was doing in terms of the ecosystem that he was building out in the healthcare space. The beauty of this ecosystem is that each piece adds to the other. So when you create the platform, the value is not additive, it is geometric progression. So there is huge value that gets created in his underlying business of hospitals and everything else that these hospitals will do. But as we were having conversations on the underutilized nature of the healthcare system, as well as uh, a lot of inefficiency that is there, a lot of situations where uh, value is not being correctly tracked and captured, we realized that his ecosystem will create an opportunity for multiple avenues of growth. And the key one we saw, which we decided to collaborate on, was where we took a combination of fractionalization of assets, tokenization of assets, and embedding the entire ecosystem and its growth into the chain that we are creating. It is an extremely powerful model, really, really powerful. And when we hit upon it, we were clear we have to grow this and bring it to the world.
No, absolutely, I agree 100%, and that kind of leads me into my next question. So, I was wondering, as can you tell us a little bit more about Avisa, um, and the other verticals and how MediMint is going to be incorporated, and how it all ties into everything. Particular with the Visa Smart Hospitals, which is under an umbrella network, correct? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So at Avisa, what we do is we pick up the properties which are distressed, not doing good, or there is a gap in the potential. So interestingly, worldwide, as you rightly said, that we are solving the problem in other countries, not just India, Africa alone. Worldwide, the statistics is that the mid-sized hospitals operate with an occupancy of 30 to 40% only, and then rest of the occupancy goes missing, and that is what it creates a distressedness in the hospital industry and also into the healthcare industry. So what we found a gap and the opportunity is that why can't we get into those vacant system and plug in our resources and then pick up those hospitals under us and then do the operate and manage. And by doing that we succeeded into multiple properties, and that's where we felt more and more hospital. So the formula worked. We did a turnaround. And then we created a strong business model, and then that made us to enter into the hospital, and then some, and then the revenue started coming along with the equity portion, which started also coming into our kitty, which made us to even be a part of that hospital asset along with the revenue. So the move was very smart. Of course, we saw a big opportunity. But when we entered into the hospital, the avenues opened much larger. Not just the treatment alone. We had surgeries, we have diagnostics piece, we had pharmacy, and many more. And that started creating more and more verticals where we started bifurcating the surgery piece, the treatment piece, the medicine piece, the diagnostic piece. And then since we scaled up to multiple hospitals, we saw that monitoring multiple hospital wouldn't be easy. So we started deploying the tech part, which you can see in multiple videos in YouTube, that we use a lot of tech so that we can capture the data properly and then we can optimize the data. Because when we know to do a turnaround to any hospital, the data plays a very big role. And that's where we started implementing many hardware, software together and automations to ensure that what we do it at a data driven approach. And then once the data started coming in front of us, then we started knowing that, okay, there are multiple avenues which we can really, work upon. And that's where the longevity piece comes in, where we do the preventive care and the longevity care. We also found that, okay, what if we fix the nutrition of our patients, we can really heal a lot into the healthcare industry. So opulence created, where we particularly, focus on nutrition and the food and the supplement. And then the mediment, erupted up, when we discussed that, okay, when we're sitting on such an assets which is giving a continuous yield, why can't we do a tokenization and bring it to the world? So yeah, I mean, this is how the background which keep on unfolding its own opportunity, and then we keep on separating vertical, but all verticals are interconnected, where every value chain is contributing to other.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Vikash. So, Nalin, I just wanted to ask you a question. So, obviously, you have a very impressive and extensive background in finance. So, just tell us, how are you going to use your experience and your connections to help scale MediMint?
Right. So, my support will primarily come along thinking through the business model, looking at regulatory aspects, looking at legal aspects, looking at developing and refining the model, and also the fact that I understand projects across life cycle. I also understand across capital structure. I've seen what investors need. I think in a lot of cases, the challenge that investors face is that they make an investment and then they have to wait for a long time for returns to get generated. So, this is a situation where we have created something where the investor doesn't have to wait. It's an instantaneous start, and there are very few such opportunities for investors. There's just no lag period, right? And I think that enables, I look from an investor perspective. What is going to work for them? Why should they invest into this? What is the value that will get created? That's just DNA for me. So that DNA comes and helps me in, helping refine the model with Vikas, and then putting something which we think will be extraordinary. And in due course, we hope that people will recognize it as a major breakthrough.
No, absolutely. And I think that's important to have that different perspective as well. Like I said, it's with projects, I do look at that. A lot of times, you see founders, they have a great vision and everything, but you need the connections and the experience on, the technical part, but also, what the investors are going to look for and how to scale up everything. So I think that's a very important aspect that's overlooked. And so that brings us into my next two questions. So can you tell us a little bit more about the revenue model that is implemented by MediMint? And then just get into a little bit more about the roadmap, what's been accomplished so far and what the next stages are going to look like?
Sure. So I just wanted to talk about the RW piece, which is currently going on, where generally any blockchain project, they create a token. They talk about that, this token will be further be invested into any asset. And then once that asset will start giving the yield, they'll start the distribution. Now, what we did is little on a reverse side of it. We created the asset first, and then on top of it, we are adding the token, so that the assurity of the investors and the token buyers will be very high, because we are already sitting on an asset which is already giving a yield, and then we are adding a layer which is tokenizing the current asset, which is giving a yield, which creates the tangibility and authenticity of our token, where they don't have to wait this particular RWA project to go and acquire asset, and then once the asset will give the yield, then only they'll get the yield, the returns. So this is something which is a bit beauty of what we have created. We believe that the RWA should be working in the same manner, picking up something which is really yield oriented. And then we created a revenue model in a way, again picking up a problem that these machines comes at a very, I mean, high cost, 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, 4 million. And because of the cost, the deployment of these machines are very less in most of the hospitals, unless you are a very high revenue generating hospitals, unless you have enough capital, then only you can deploy the machines. So currently what happens is, in the industry, in between the mid-sized hospital, there is a hub and spoke model which works out, where somebody comes and opens a diagnostic center, or this machine goes into one big hospital where the smaller hospital refer their patients, and then they get the radiology test done. This is creating a lot of backlogs, lot of waiting time, and lot of revenue hit to any hospital, and also the industry, the healthcare industry. So what problem we are solving and the revenue is bringing is that we are tokenizing, where we are fractionalizing the asset, giving it to the investors, and we are creating a pool where we are going to put all the machines, what we have and what we are going to onboard, and under one basket, so that the yield could be distributed from the basket, even if the machine goes into repair or maintenance. And each machines will be connected to the mainframe through HL7 protocol. And then from there, the distribution will take place, where we are building a platform where the investor can see real time notifications that there is a transaction happening into their asset. On the other side, the hospital owners will be getting enough distribution and the cash flow to ensure that they can also keep deploying the machines into their respective hospitals, which is creating a demand and supply equilibrium, where once they have the machines within their own premise, their revenue would be staying with them, which is again creating a additional revenue for them. And then the waiting time of the patient reduces, where it is again bringing an additional revenue to that asset. So in other way, into summarize it, that we are creating more and more asset within the same pool by distributing the existing asset, and then deploying more assets where there is always a demand but the supply was less. We are bringing more supply so that the demand can be served upon, which is bringing additional revenue to the stakeholder, to the investors, to the token holders. And then, of course, if you talk about the distribution, where we are giving the distribution from the yield, along with a 5 year cycle, because each machines we are keeping it under a 5 year cycle period. And then we have staking rewards and many more, which are very well explained into the white paper.
I appreciate that, Vikash. Let me see, just going through next list of questions. So at the moment, if there's any organizations or individuals that's watching this and feel there could be synergies, or just want to know more about MediMint and the Visa Smart Hospitals Network, let them know the best way to get in contact with you guys. Obviously, LinkedIn, but we'll share some info where this is going to be as well. But let them know the best way that they can, like I said, find out more about MediMint, Visa, and how they can follow the progress of the project or participate if they wish to.
Sure.
Are you going to answer that question, Vikash?
Yeah, so we are always available in LinkedIn. We are very much active in LinkedIn. So anyone who is looking for a partnership, we definitely they can look, they can come and approach us. So when you talked about somebody, some of the organization or individuals watching this, and they feel that there could be any synergy. One big synergy could be um, somebody who is sitting with their asset, which is the diagnostic equipment, which is MRI, CT, and all. If they have already, which is lying with them, we have something called, they can list their machines into our chain, and then we can make them as a part of that asset under our MediMint chain, and of course, they get the benefit. So definitely, there is a synergy across the world, not limited to what we are doing with our own machines. We are most welcoming the other machine holders, and at the same time, um, we are also building an ecosystem where we would
Hey, Nalin.
Yes,
Okay, looks like
I'm there.
Vikash just froze there. I wasn't sure if it was on my end. We'll just see
No,
if he comes back in.
I think it's happened in the past. He froze and he unfroze.
Yeah, we can edit this part out.
Yeah. Well, look, I can add over here. So there are two primary areas of support we can partner and collaborate at this point in time. One is people who would like to bring on their machines onto the network. It creates a lot of value for them, and we definitely believe that we can help improve the utilization of these machines. So apart from tokenizing, getting the benefits there, they also get the benefit of being able to increase the utilization. The second benefit we see is for people who would like to use data sets and would like to collaborate with us on that side. So there are two key partnerships and collaborations that we are looking at this time. I think Vikas is back, so maybe he can restate this so then you can pick what you want.
Yes, yes. We just lost you for maybe about 30 seconds, Vikash. So if there's anything that you want to just
Oh,
repeat there.
okay. So you went to for other question?
No, because we didn't get the full bit of the collaboration that you were talking about. You just started talking on data sets, and
Okay.
then you we lost you.
Okay. So I was talking about when we talk about the synergy, and I would also talk about partnership and collaboration. So interesting fact is one layer is the asset, distribution of yield, and fractionalizing the the machines. The other piece is that if the machine is attending the patients, there is a lot of data which is getting generated. What we wanted to do is, since the entire data generation is happening under the blockchain, we definitely wanted to use this data sets to be used by the pharma companies, the research company, the bioinformatics company, the biotech companies whose entire business model is dependent on data. Currently, it's very difficult to get a very real data. They're dependent on various portals, but what if we are generating a real-time data and feeding into the blockchain, which is very well secured under the consent of patient, and if at all a data trend is required anonymously, the pharma companies will definitely take a lot of leverage of what is getting created on a real-time wise. So yes, the partnership with the pharma companies, Novartis, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and many more biotech companies, Biocon and all, they'll have a lot of advantage if they take the data feed from our blockchain.
Thank you for that, gentlemen. So just briefly, is there anything else that we want to cover? I think we covered pretty much everything, but if just giving you guys a last chance to just think if there's anything else that you'd like to share with the audience. Any closing remarks?
Nalin.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, this is an exceptional and unique opportunity that we see scaling very rapidly. We see a lot of machines coming on the system. Apart from what we have, we are fractionalizing them. We are bringing them in other models. We know that we can improve the utilization given the network that Avisa has built. That's a very, very powerful driver for anybody who comes onto it. We also have a lot of data that we are going to be able to generate, which will have value to other people. And we are making sure that this is set up for the future. It's not a one-time exercise, and it's going to be done on blockchain. So it is going to be available in the future in a non-tamper format. That is also very, very valuable. We think we've got something exceptional here. We're very excited, and we're hoping that more people will join us in this journey. We think we will be able to reach underserved areas. As an example, we were having a discussion with an African country who were not able to reach their patients. The demand is huge, but they're just not able to offer the service. And we have been able to build out a model for them, which is very capital efficient from their perspective. So this will just keep happening. We think there are so many levers of growth that we have. We're just at the very, very beginning. And thank you for giving us this opportunity to spread our message.
No, well, first of all, thank you, gentlemen. It's a pleasure speaking with you today. It's definitely a pleasure to meet you. Yeah, just to close out, like I said, the thing that stood out to me is it's a good balance between vision and execution. There's a clear roadmap, very transparent funding model, leadership team that's already proven this impact. So like I said, I want to thank you guys for sharing everything that you have today. So whatever, whoever watching this, if you're a healthcare provider, policymaker, patient advocate, even an investor, I think that MediMint is something to watch or potentially be a part of. Me personally, I only cover projects that I feel that are making a real impact, that have a real chance for success, and are bringing something that's actually needed into the space. So with that, like I said, thanks once again. And yeah, everybody, I encourage you, like I said, you can connect with them on LinkedIn, follow the socials, if you're on X, Telegram, Discord, there's a Discord group. So, you can connect and find out more about the project and interact in real time with the founders. So once again, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Craig. Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Take care.